Hello children, welcome to aimsindia's online classes. This is biology session. You are watching locomotion and movements assessment 2. So, in assessment 1 we have discussed some questions. So, before going to assessment 2, let us briefly review some more points which we have already learnt. Children, we have studied the muscular system in animals. In the body of all the multicellular animals, muscles are found, isn't it? The movement of the body takes place by these muscles, because these skeleton by itself, it cannot cause any movement, isn't it? So, it requires some weight to be added. So, the muscles add weight to the bones and the movement occurs, isn't it? The movement of the body takes place by these muscles. If the muscles become weak, the functioning of the body becomes difficult. The muscles are capable of contraction and relaxation. Hence, the muscles are elastic in nature. So, can you tell some important muscles? The biceps, triceps, these are the muscles of arm. Gastrocnemius, it is a muscle of shank of leg. Gluteus maximus, it is the longest muscle. Okay, where it is present? In the buttock muscles they are. Oblique muscle is present in the eye. Then rectus, it is also eye muscle. Maxillaris, it is the muscle of upper jaw. Pectoralis, major, it is the muscle of chest. Pectoralis minor, it is also the muscle of chest. Mandibularis, it is the muscle of lower jaw. Latissimus dorsi, it is a muscle of shoulder muscle, it is a shoulder muscle. External oblique, lower abdomen muscle. Internal oblique, lower abdomen muscle. The transversus, lower abdomen muscle. Rectus abdominis, lower abdomen. Stapedial muscle. Erector pili, smallest muscle is the sartorius femoris, it is the smallest muscle. Longest muscle is gluteus maximus. Okay, it is the longest and the largest muscle. Then what are sutures, children? Sutures means the skull joint is made up of. It is found between the skull bones. The sutures are fixed or the fibrous joints articulating bones are held together by white fibrous tissue. It is nothing but sutures. The ball and socket joint we have studied, also known as anarthrosis. The ball of one bone articulate in the socket of another bone. So, example, head of the humerus and glenoid cavity of the pectoral girdle, the femur and acetabulum of pelvic girdle, the joint between the incus and stapes, ear muscle, ear bones. Okay. So, they form, and we have studied the movement in plants also, isn't it? Phototropism. What is phototropism? Phototropism is the growth of an organism in response to a light stimulus. Phototropism is the most often observed in the plants, but can also occur in other organisms such as fungi. The cells on the plant that are farthest from the light have a chemical called auxin. This auxin is responsible for the phototropism. Okay. What is geotropism? The growth of the parts of a plant in response to the force of gravity. The upward growth of a plant shoots is an instance of negative geotropism, whereas downward growth of roots is a positive geotropism. Then what is hydrotropism? The growth or the turning of plant roots towards or away from the water, it is called as a hydrotropism. Then what is chemotropism? It is a response to touch, the turning or bending of the plant or other organisms in response to a touch is called as, a touch stimulus is called as chemotropism. Okay. What is chemotropism? The movement in response to chemicals. Okay children, let us proceed to the worksheet, the NEET and Olympiad level previous contest questions. The question number 39. How many bones are there in the axial path of human skeleton? Total 206 bones. Out of the 206 bones, how many bones are present in the axial skeleton? Okay, axial skeleton includes skull, ribs and vertebral column. Total how many bones children? 180, 120, 210 or 80. Okay, it is a total of 80 bones present in the axial skeleton. Remaining, okay, 126 bones are present in the appendicular skeleton. The total number of bones in the human skull, 30, 22, 25, 106. How many bones are present? 22 bones are present in the skull. There are dash of ribs in the human body. How many ribs? How many pairs of ribs are present? 20, 10 pairs, 12 pairs, 8 pairs. How many pairs children? 12 pairs of ribs, and the ribs are classified into false ribs, true ribs, floating ribs, like that. Okay. The number of floating ribs in the human body is how many? 2 pairs, 3 pairs, 5 pairs, 6 pairs. How many pairs children? 2 pairs of ribs are floating ribs. So, what joint is found between the ribs and sternum? Cartilaginous joints, hinge joint, angular joint, fibrous joint. Cartilaginous joint present between the ribs and sternum. The joint between the atlas and axis is ball and socket joint, saddle joint, pivot joint, angular joint. Which joint? Pivot joint. So, we can rotate our neck due to the presence of this joint. Where it is present? Between the atlas bone and axis bone. The bones that attach the arm to the axial skeleton, composed of clavicle and scapula, is called cranium, pelvic girdle, pectoral girdle, scapula. Which one? Pectoral girdle. Tendons connect dash at a joint, bone to bone, muscle to muscle, muscle to bone, muscle to blood vessel. Which one? Muscle to bone. Synovial joint is, means freely movable joint. Pivot joint, ball and socket joint, hinge joint. Which one? Okay, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, or all of these. Okay, all of these are synovial joints, freely movable joints. Suspensory ligament is present in eye, brain, ear, kidney. In which suspensory ligament? In the eye it is present. So, option 1. Okay, here assertion and reasoning type. Assertion: knee joint is the hinge joint, hinge type of joint. Next, reason: femur, patella and fibula are associated with knee joint. Okay, here which one is the right one? We have to choose. Here the knee joint is a hinge joint. Okay, assertion is true, and reason: femur, patella and fibula are associated with the knee joint. The reason is somewhat wrong. Okay, patella bone is present in the knee only, but the femur and fibula, okay, they are not associated with this. So, here A is true, but reason is not true. Next, the body structure of the fish is in a streamlined manner. Reason, it helps the fish to find its way inside the water. Okay, both seems to be true. Okay, and the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Streamline system in aquatic animals, especially the fish, this streamline system help the fish to swim against the water current. Okay. Next, 3 of the following pairs of the human skeletal parts are correctly matched with their respective inclusive skeleton category, and 1 pair is not matched. Identify that non-matching pair. So, here the 2 parts are given, the pairs of skeletal parts and the category. The first one, humerus and ulna, is a part of appendicular skeleton. Then option 2, malleus and stapes, ear ossicles. Option 3, sternum and ribs, axial skeleton. Clavicle, and option 4, the clavicle and glenoid cavity, pelvic girdle. Okay. Here humerus and ulna, appendicular skeleton, okay, correctly matched. Malleus and stapes, ear ossicles, yes, this is also rightly matched. Sternum and ribs, axial skeleton, okay, this is also. But the clavicle and glenoid cavity, pelvic girdle, this is wrong. Okay. So, option D. Next, match the following column 1 and column 2. In column 1, synovial joints are given. In column 2, bones involved in the synovial joint. Option A, ball and socket joint, and you have to select from the column 2, right one you have to select. Okay. The ball and socket joint is present in the humerus and pectoral girdle, shoulder. Okay. Hinge joint, where it is present? Hinge joint is present in the knee. Hinge joint is present in the knee. Next, pivot joint. Pivot joint is present between the atlas and the axis. Okay, it is in the neck region. Then the saddle joint, carpal and metacarpal. Okay, it is the option A. Okay. Next, the longest bone is that of femur. The humerus is present in the hands, stapes present in the ear, and the femur is the thigh bone. The pectoral girdle, it is a shoulder. Okay. Next, triceps is the muscle which is present in the hand, arm. Okay, back side of the arm. It is a which type of muscle? Flexor, extensor, abductor, adductor. It is the extensor muscle. Okay, tricep, you can extend. Long bones function is support erythrocyte and leukocyte synthesis, support and erythrocyte protection, erythrocyte formation. The long bones, they give support, erythrocyte and leukocyte synthesis, that is called hemopoiesis, production of blood cells. Poison ivy growing on a tree by touch. Poison ivy growing on a tree by touch. Okay, which phenomenon it is? Gravitropism, phototropism, thigmotropism, hydrotropism. It is the thigmotropism, touch. A plant growing in response to sunlight, gravitropism, phototropism, thigmotropism, hydrotropism. Light, so phototropism. The roots of the tree growing towards the water line of a house, gravitropism, phototropism, thigmotropism, hydrotropism. Movement towards the water, hydrotropism. The pollen tubes forming the style of the carpel during fertilization, the pollen grows towards glucose. It is gravitropism, phototropism, thigmotropism, chemotropism. It is the chemotropism because glucose is mentioned here. The sunflowers are called sun trackers. Why? Gravitropism, phototropism, thigmotropism, heliotropism. Phototropism. The shoot of a plant growing up, positively gravitropism, negatively gravitropism, thigmotropism, hydrotropism. It is a negatively gravitropism. Okay. The roots of a plant growing down, positive gravitropism, negative gravitropism, thigmotropism, hydrotropism. Okay. Positive gravitropism. Venus flytrap is an insectivorous plant. Okay. The Venus flytrap flower reacts to a bug. Which type of movement it is? Nastic movement, negative gravitropism, thigmotropism, hydrotropism. It is a nastic movement because there is no direction in the nastic movement. In the tropic movements there is a direction. What are tendrils sensitive to? Touch, gravity, light, water. Touch. How do plants respond to the stimulus in tropic movements? Plants grow in a particular direction, plants do not grow at all, plants do not care, plants care. Plants grow in particular direction because tropic movement. Why does plant appear to be moving in a tropic movements? Because tropic movements are directional, because tropic movements are non-directional, because tropic movements do not care, all of these. Okay, here once again, because the tropic movements are directional. What environmental triggers change the direction of a plant growth? Light, gravity and water, touch, all of these. Here these are all the stimuli, all. In which direction the plant moves in a tropic movement? Towards the stimulus, away from the stimulus, both A and B. 69 both A and B. Which of the following shows phototropic movements? Bending of the stem towards the light, bending of the roots away from the light, both A and B, none of these. So, bending of stem towards light, phototropic movement. Okay. Phototropic movement. Okay. Here in the second option, bending of root is also given, away from the light given. So, both A and B. Next, which of the following shows geotropic movement? Bending of roots towards gravity, bending of stem away from gravity, both of A and B, none of this. Here also both, because bending of stem away from the gravity is also negative geotropic movement. Okay. So, next, what does hydrotropism mean? Movement in response to water, movement in response to light, movement in response to gravity, movement in response to touch, movement in response to water. What does chemotropism mean? Movement in response to chemicals, movement in response to light, movement in response to water, movement in response to gravity. Movement in response to chemicals, chemotropism. Next, which of the following is an example of chemotropism? Movement of the pollen grain towards the chemicals produced by ovary, movement of the stem towards light, movement of the roots towards water, movement of the tendril towards the touch. So, it is a movement of the pollen tube during the fertilization, okay, towards the chemicals produced by ovary. What does thigmotropism mean? Movement in response to touch, movement in response to light, movement in response to water, movement in response to gravity. Movement in response to touch is called as a thigmotropism. Next, how does sensitive plants transfer information from point of touch to point of movement? Electrical message, chemical message, electrochemical message, all of them. It is the electrochemical message. Okay. Give an example of a plant which are sensitive to touch. Mimosa pudica, touch me not plant, pitcher plant, all of these. Okay, Mimosa pudica, touch me not, same. So pitcher plant also. So all of these. Okay, children. So these are some of the questions in the assessment 2. I hope you followed. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.